Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a pleasant good evening. Louis Sports Network back at it, man. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe. Make sure those post notifications turned on. Make sure you're sharing on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate it. Third straight video in the building. Peace and blessings, everybody. As you already know what it is. Hope you guys are enjoying your Monday. Now that I've talked about the Denver Nuggets, let's get to the Miami Heat. You know, Jimmy Butler has gotten labeled superstar for the way that he elevates his game in the playoffs. People have been calling him Himmy Butler. Jimmy, he is him. All this kind of stuff. Well, the man has been doing a lot of talking. And, okay, people want to say, well, Jimmy Butler, you know, he might have an ankle injury. Well, so many players are injured at this time of year during the NBA playoffs. That's not an excuse. Oh, but, you know, Jimmy might be dealing with something with his father. Not saying that might not affect him, but the thing is, you're still out there. And, you know, I give him credit for being out there, but again, he doesn't get a pass. He doesn't get a pass because you can't talk the talk and then you can't walk the walk in an elimination game, in the most important game of your season. So Jimmy Butler, yeah, he scored the Heat's last 12 points in the fourth quarter. He got that bogus call that they called the foul at the three-point line in the right corner on Aaron Gordon when Gordon didn't even touch him. But the problem is Jimmy Butler was 2 for his first 10 through 3 quarters. And I get it. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Trust me, the Miami Heat would have won this game if Jimmy Butler plays better. I mean, Bam Adebayo had 18 points and 9 rebounds at the half. And this is why I continue to say, how do you call Jimmy Butler a superstar when he's never even been a first-team All-NBA player? He's a 6-time All-Star. You know, no doubt, Jimmy's good, but I don't consider him great. Superstars always find a way to get their numbers. That's not Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is inconsistent, and he tends to be inconsistent at the wrong time. Jimmy Butler's not a superstar, ladies and gentlemen, and he's not your number one option. I've been telling Jimmy Butler fanboys for years, he is not a number one option. Because when he struggles, Jimmy Butler gets very passive and he doesn't want it. Number one players want it. I'm not saying that there's been number one players that haven't done, you know, kind of their share of quick jobs. There's been a few of them and stuff like that. But Jimmy Butler's not a number one guy. He's not a number one guy. And you're asking Bam Adebayo, who's not known as a dominant scorer, to put up like consistent 20 and 10 when that's not really his game. Or asking a 37-year-old Kyle Lowry, who's been inconsistent in the postseason his entire career, to try to help him put up big numbers. Pat Riley needs to take a real hard look at this roster and needs to realize we need a superstar that will carry us. Jimmy Butler is a number 2 to number 3. He is a Robin or a Robin's Robin. That's it. He is not a superstar. He's not an alpha. He has an alpha. See, I can't even say he has an alpha mentality because he'll talk like an alpha, but his game doesn't display it consistently. And the thing is, you look at Duncan Robinson, he's improved his ball handling, but he's inconsistent. And on top of that, he can't play defense. Victor Oladipo, he's a shell of what he once was. He's not playing the level of defense he once did ever since he's had some really bad injuries. And then you also have Tyler Hero, who could score, 20 plus coming off the bench. But the problem is he don't play defense neither. So when you look at it, I think Highsmith should be playing more. They really need to start developing Highsmith. And then on top of that, I feel like they also need to get some wing help. When I look at this Heat team, they need to get some defenders on the wing. They need that. They need a big man. They need an interior to really complement Bam Adebayo because the Heat are small too. And Kevin Love, he's a floor spreader. If this was Kevin Love from Minnesota, this would be different. He would be beasting on the rebounds, and the Nuggets would have been somewhat neutralized on the boards. The Nuggets are a bigger team. So Miami they struggled rebounding the basketball. There were some instances where the Heat were able to win the rebounding battle, but they were winning it barely. So like I said before, Jimmy Butler, I'm not surprised that this happened, ladies and gentlemen, because it's like I said before, Jimmy Butler is not a number one option. Oh, Jimmy's a superstar. He's him. He is not a superstar. when he goes inconsistent and he goes quiet, he becomes Jimmy Crickets again. He goes Jimmy Hush, Jimmy No Talk. You need him to be Jimmy Neutron, searching his brain and ready, brain blast. No brain blast. There was no brain blast. It's more like brain fried, like fried Oreos. His brain was fried. So I'm sorry, but Jimmy Butler, good player, but I wouldn't call him great. He's good. He's borderline great. I would call him borderline great. That's where I would measure Jimmy Butler. Now, people can disagree with me all they want, but the Jimmy Butler fanboys need to understand. You guys praise him so much, and yet when he fails, you guys have an excuse ready. No, Jimmy Butler gets no passes. And Eric Spoelstra, future Hall of Fame coach, probably a top 15 coach of all time, but some of the questionable decisions you made as a head coach has kind of had to put me into question. Yes, Denver is the better team. I don't want to hear Miami Heat fans go, oh, but the Nuggets, they're the better team. Oh, the Heat, they weren't supposed to be here. Think about that. They weren't supposed to be here, but yet last year they were in the Eastern Conference Finals. If you're in the Eastern Conference Finals, and you almost went to the NBA Finals, don't you think that you're going to come with high expectations? Because the Heat did come in with high expectations. And the thing is, they went from almost going to the NBA Finals last year to not even making the play, to barely making the play-in. They had to fight to get to the 8th seed. And yes, they are the second 8th seed to make the NBA Finals, and they got a game. That's great and all. But I don't want to hear this crap. I really don't. Because to be honest, I'm going to be honest with you. When you look at Miami's run to the championship, give them credit, but at the same time, they were able to do it with 7 undrafted players. But this team has more flaws than one when you look really deep at this roster. You really do. And then consider this. Yeah, they beat the Chicago Bulls when they lost to the Hawks. Yeah, they beat Milwaukee in 5, but that was really more bad coaching. And Giannis choking in the last couple of games, even though he was injured. Then you got the Knicks, an inexperienced team who really does not play defense consistently, and they don't have other consistent scoring options other than Jaylen Brown. So that's where they need to. And I hope the Knicks don't even consider getting Donovan Mitchell, because Donovan Mitchell has already shown me that he's not a great playoff performer. He has terrible basketball IQ. And he's not a number one option either. He has terrible shot selection, and you saw how he folded in those games at Madison Square Garden. He didn't play well in that series. And the Knicks are trying to get him? No. Donovan Mitchell needs to be around high IQ players. That's where he'll play better. Being on the Knicks isn't going to help him. I'm sorry. I considered him at one time, but I realized how much exposed he would get if he was to go to a team like the Knicks. I'm sorry. Because he likes to play iso ball. And he gets past it too when his shot isn't falling either. And he turns the ball over way too much. So no, I wouldn't even want him. But Jimmy Butler choked his game away. He choked it away. So I don't want to hear, oh, Himmy Butler, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Jimmy Butler gets no excuses. For the amount of praise that Jimmy Butler fanboys give him, it's amazing how you're going to have an excuse right after. Nope. No sirree. No can do. I'm sorry. Not happening. Nope. N-O-P-E. Spell it. Nope. Read my lips. N-O-P-E. Nope. Jimmy Butler is good. I'm pretty sure he's dealing with an ankle injury and, the health of his father. But when you do all that talking and can't back it up, and in a closeout game, some of the shots you took down the stretch, and then even the turnover to KCP down 1. That's number 1. And then also the 3-point shot that he took and didn't even try to extend the game, because remember, the Nuggets had missed 10 free throws in the game. They missed 10 free throws. Now give KCP credit, give Bruce Brown credit. They knocked them down when it counted in a 1-point game. And listen, both teams play hard defensively in the fourth quarter. It was pretty ugly. Guys missing shots, but the Nuggets made more big plays than the Miami Heat did. Plain and simple. So Jimmy Butler, you choked. But then again, like I said before, I'm not surprised. I got so many dudes attacking me on YouTube and even my friends, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Jimmy Butler's going to prove y'all wrong and this and that. And I said, I've already seen Jimmy Butler in the last couple of postseasons. Even in the 2020 finals, even though he averaged 50, 40, 90, he was inconsistent in the fourth quarter in a couple of those games in the bubble. Look at the way he played in the last 3 games against the Boston Celtics before Game 7. And look at the way he played in this series. He had one good game, that's it. And all the other games, man, he just struggled. And the one game that they won, the role player stepped up when he didn't play well. Bam Adebayo was playing great in the first 2 games and then tailored away and disappeared in the last 3. So who do I blame for this? Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley, because he needs to retool and take a good look at this roster to see who they could bring in. I don't know how he's going to get it done, but he's going to have to get it done. They need a superstar to take them to the promised land. They're not winning with this team. They got here, but you look at the Philadelphia 76ers, a bunch of dummies. Doc Rivers, Glenn Rivers, Joel Embiid folds in big moments and in big games, despite the fact that he's got Hakeem Olajuwon type talent. James Harden, forget it. He was able to win 2 games in these playoffs, and look what happened. Anyway, you look at the Boston Celtics, the most talented team in the Eastern Conference, yet filled with mediocrity. So those big teams like the Celtics and the Bucks, heck of a run by Miami, but they were expected to get there due to the fact that they came off an Eastern Conference Finals trip last year. That's why. So you can't just say they're not supposed to be here. That's because they played bad in the regular season. They had some injuries, but they played horrible in the regular season. There's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, why the Heat were last in the NBA in scoring, why they were in the bottom, they were 25th in three-point shooting. There's a reason why they were so low. They go into too many scoring droughts, and their quality of shots become very bad. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Louis with another one. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Jimmy Butler choked this game away. I don't ever want to hear him think it a superstar. You've never been a first-team All-NBA player. You can't be a superstar. I'm sorry. You got to make enough of those for me to call you that. And you have to be able to play consistently and be able to carry your team to win games. You need a team to win, of course, but your superstar is who takes you home, ladies and gentlemen. The role players come along for the ride with you and help contribute to the championship. That's what the Denver Nuggets did, and that's what they had. But ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Louis with another one. Let me know what you guys think, man. Bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank you guys for watching.